Morning, Ginoa. We're back with part 4 of the VTI command form. Now, in the document, it mentioned that there is a politer version of commands that you can use, especially if the situation doesn't necessarily call for a command. um, there are cultural teachings that I have heard um, regarding, using gentle tones or like just kind of being gentle with children. And I am not the like I'm still learning, and I don't know if it's quite my place to share these. And so um, I would encourage you to talk to those in the community who have more knowledge on this. But just in observation that I've seen, and uh, when I work in school systems with well, let's see, with more like a population like here where it's more indigenous versus when I was working in a school system that was mainly a white population. One of the stark differences I noticed was how the children were spoken to. And here I noticed that children are spoken to with gentler tones and with more of a desire to understand what's going on, with more intention to solve the root issue, and to provide help. Whereas the other school system that I was in, things were addressed more harshly, more abruptly, with seeking to understand following a little bit later, if it followed at all. And that's not to criticize any of the like people that I saw working in those situations at all. Many of them were wonderful adults and teachers in those situations. It's just more of a difference in treating and listening to children in the two different population areas. And so when I think about using command form or using more of a suggestive form, the suggestive form seems more in line with how people would have maybe addressed the majority of their interactions with children, and maybe wouldn't have defaulted to command phrases quite so often. I think that people use command phrases more often now as new learners because they are very simple phrases. They're very easy to do. Um, you simply have to memorize kind of what would be called a canned phrase and then use it when the situation calls for it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you are on the journey of learning the language, I think this is a really good way of, my cat says hi, a really good way of speaking to students when trying to give them directions while softening the interaction, and also um, just being less abrupt and giving them more time to process and follow through with the instructions. And it will also give them more modeled language to bring home and to use with peers, as well as with the adults and elders in their lives, that is more polite and appropriate for interacting with those older adults. Because it was noticed, like when children are having command form used with them, children learn by listening, watching, and mimicking. And so they were bringing this command form home and using it with the adults and elders in their lives, which was inappropriate, because children shouldn't be uh, giving commands to their elders. Um, this is all like a lot of this has been like relayed with me to me in various conversations as I have been learning language and um, teachings and stuff. So, um, let's see. Um, and the kids don't realize that it's impolite for them to use the same phrases that are being used towards them. So using phrases that they can mimic and model at home would be a good approach. Um, However, there are certainly times where command form is necessary, and like we as teachers know that they haven't listened to the "you should sit down," "you should sit down," "you need to sit down" kind of thing, and that's when you shift to sit down. After a while, like if they're or the situations where there is a matter of urgency, like um you know don't go too close to that dangerous thing, or um you know things like that, where there's urgency. Don't pick up the glass, don't um like the broken glass, or don't touch the scissors, or various things that are urgent of that nature. Command form is great for. So anyway, moving on, the form that was suggested to me when I was first starting out working in immersion was to use the da time tense. This is different than that inclusive command, like mamuda, let's pick it up, or mijida, let's eat it, or ijada, let's go. Um, this is a different one. It just sounds similar. That one is still command form. This one is a suggestive form, and that is the time tense that you've seen many times, the should, would, or could tense, and that is da. In this case, it typically, by context, means should. So, for example, we'll do positive form for singular persons, and then negative form, and then we'll move on to positive and negative form for plural persons, and then inclusive persons, all using the da tense. So let's see. A good VTI1 verb, VTI1s. You're gonna want your VTI paradigms. Paradigms are used for this tense. So let's see, VTI1 and an AN. And then let's put it away. Is like in nanda. So put it away. The command is not in none. But we're gonna say you should put it away. So rather than saying na in none, put it away, you singular person. We're going to put we're going to use gin, because in this form, singular person, we're talking to you, which is gin. And then we're going to use da. Gita. Remember, when we're talking in a positive sense, like it's not a Darwin statement, the an ending expands to aan. That. On my cat. Hey, are you stuck? Here. And then gita in nan. We should put it away. Now, if you want to talk about putting, sorry, not we should. My bad, I misspoke. you should put it away. What are we talking about? The toy. Let's say odamin. Odamin o wagan. Now, if there is more than one toy, you should put them away. Then it needs plural agreement. Gidanan odamnawaginan. Here is the agreement. So really, you just use the form of the verb in the person, like in your VTI paradigms, but you use the da time tense in the front. So how about you should set it down? The word for set it down is bagidinan. So we're staying with gida. That's going to be constant for this. Hey, yeah. Gida bagidin on. Remember, our bagidinan extends to bagidinan. You should pick it up. The fork, or in this case, let's say the spoon. Maybe the spoon fell. Bungisin. Gipungisin. Oh no, the spoon fell. Gipungisin. Kita bagadinan emekwanits. You should pick it up. Kita bagadinan emekwanits. So see how that works better than just looking at some bagadinan. This is a gentler way of saying it. Kita bagadinan emekwanits. All right, moving on to VTI2 verbs. In terms of like VTI2s, they end in un. So again, you all should, or yeah, no, we're still in singular people, so you should, gin. So we're still with get, da. Kita, you should. Earlier, when I said bagadinan, did I say pick it up? I said pick it up. I'm sorry. Bagadinan means you should set it down. Good grief, I don't want to re-record everything. Anyway, you know what? Taking a moment, that bagadinan. Bagadinan means put it down. Set it down. Bagadinan. Mamoon is pick it up. I get those two mixed up. I apologize. So, you know, imekwanitki pangisin. The spoon fell. Now you should pick it up. Gida mamoon. Gida mamoon. You should pick it up. I'm so sorry. Guys, I'm just tired today. It's been a long day. Anyway, you should hear the amount of speaking mistakes I make when I'm tired at school. We're human. Idamamoon. Damamoon. Equanance. You should pick up the spoon. Oh my gosh. Well, as I was saying, don't be worried when you make speaking mistakes, because we're all going to make mistakes and we learn from making mistakes, and who hasn't misspoken in English before, right? Anyway, kita mamoon McLarens, you should pick up the spoon. That's gentler sounding than just looking at someone going, mamoon. Pick it up, mamoon. So yeah, that gida stays there throughout the entire thing. Let's try. What else? Hmm. Instead of saying like abajatun badakayagan, use a fork, we would look at someone and say gida abajatun badakayagan. Abajatun is use it. Abajatun badakayagan, a fork. Badakayagan. You should use a fork rather than just saying but the badakayagan. Or if you want to put your possessive marker on there, you should use your fork. Get badakayagan. Again, that is softer than badakayagan. Use your fork. So yeah, you can kind of see the difference there. Let's see. And I lost my eraser. VTI threes and an in. So you should get it. Not in. Make it on not in. You should get it. You should go fetch it. Sumas negas. He is a su maisena egas. The little calendar. This like all the students had their own little calendars for learning months and days and whatnot. Understanding like what day we are actually on, they would have this handheld one. They could like color in the day or put stamps on. So sumas negas. Gedan narin sumas negas. Again, gentler than narin sumas negas. And that's how that works. Geda in front. But now, let's say you should not get it. We're not doing that right now. So the way that you would do this, we're gonna work with, we're gonna go backwards. VTI 3 is still N and in. We need gawin scene on this. What did I put my? So I'll put gawin up here. Gawin gidanade scene. Gawin gidanade scene. These are sumas negas. You should not get it. You should not fetch it. So again, gawin gidanade scene. Gawin gita mije scene. You should not eat the calendar. So what happens here is the ending end falls off for the scene to attach. The ends like to fall off the end of these VTI verbs quite a bit. Let's see here. And so let's look at VTI twos, ending in un. When we have it ending in un and we're doing a gawin form, that ending n falls off and we add scene. So gawin. I'm gonna leave this gawin up. We still have ge, da, Attune. We're gonna use attune. Attune means put it. So attune, our N here falls off, and we get seen. Now, I know with the VAIs for the white earth area, usually don't hear that N. It's very nasalized, so like gang, gida, tusi. But if you're talking about plural things and you've got plural agreement, especially in VTI verbs, you need to add a plural agreement AN. And so it's a lot easier to keep that N there. Gang, gida, tusin, a tusinen. Like don't put them more than one item. So that was just a quick note about the scene. And now we're just gonna add like don't put them imma there. Going to cinema, you should not put it there. That's how that phrase goes. It's nicer than saying just go to cinema. Don't put it there. I'm sorry if I'm getting redundant. Let's see. But yeah, a two scene, but a two scene, you should not use it. Do scene, you should not stack it. That N always falls off and you just add scene. So now we're gonna jump into VTI ones. These ones are a little bit different. VTI one ends with AN. But what happens is the AN stays. And we add zine. Let me see here. So you should not set it down. Bagidinan. Let me redeem myself here. So you know how I was saying that these ones, bagidin, none, add an extra A and expand to bagadinan when you add a person. I think I mentioned that this does not happen when it's in Gawin form, and so there's no change here. So here we go. You should not set it down. Gawin kita bagadinan zin. You don't have to say the N sound if you don't want to. Gawin kita bagadinan zin. You should not set it down. Let's see. You could always throw on something like gayabi. Gayabi. That means yet. You should not set it down yet. Gawin kita bagadinan zin gayabi. Okay. So again, that's pretty simple. But now let's talk about plural people. So we're gonna still do VTI ones right now. We're gonna move on to the plural commands and the alternative, politer or gentler version. So now instead of talking about gin, we are talking about ginawa. Let's see. Use should. Why I just keep thinking of the same 3 VTI verbs. I'm sorry. Should be on. You should write it. Your letters, the letters you could write, the numbers, that kind of thing. So let's see. O should be on. O should be. Anytime there's like this here, it refers to writing. O should be. Again, our un here expands to O should be on. And when we're talking about quinoa in VTI form, we add a suffix that makes it more than one gin. So nawin kita should be on awa. Oh, I'm sorry, we're not doing gaga. You should write. You all should write. It needs a letter. Eight. But if you want to say you all should write letters, then you need plural agreement. And we're gonna get plural agreement like this. Son. You're gonna add an N here. Lidaw should be anawan. Son. Plural, plural. So this is the ge and the awa means quinoa. You all should write them the letters. Okay, I know it's longer than command form. It's because it's a suggestion, but it's actually quite easy to remember once you've started to memorize your paradigms. I definitely recommend doing that. I was never really good at just sitting and studying. Yeah, I had to look over things, but what I did was I printed out the ones that I tended to get stuck on. I kept photos right on my phone. I kept my phone with me. And if I was trying to say something, I could just look it up real quick. And what really made it stick in my head was being pressured to have to use it, to set that goal for me to not use English in those settings. When I was forced to have to say something in Ojibwe or to talk around something I didn't know how to say, it really, really made my mind hold on to these paradigms and to grow my vocabulary. Um, and it's okay to have a narrow vocabulary at first and just kind of use it to apply to what you need and then grow it as you learn. But like learning these is going to really give you the ability to talk to more than one kind of person, like y'all. Okay. So now we'll do VTI2, which end in un. And it's still a plural, like you should get, you should stop. Oh, close to doing. Oh, close to doing means stack it. Oh, close to doing. But we're talking to more than one you. So you all. Wa. You should stack the blocks. Ge ka kagen. Ge ka ka in. And this is our plural blocks. Close to nawan. Ge ka kagen. You should stack them, the blocks. So that's how that works. We just attach our paradigm. Get awa is you all. Use should. Let's see. All of a sudden, I'm thinking all of the VTI1 verbs. Previously I couldn't remember any of them. Now my brain's like ishkonan, ikonan, webinan. Yeah. Um, should. Yeah. And oh my goodness, you should bring it. Don't do that. Bidun. You should bring the paper back tomorrow. That's to one person, you should bring it, but we want to be used. Let's negos, the document, something their parents had to sign was in incase. Now, this is all of them with one paper, but they each have a paper. So you all should bring the papers. Wabang, tomorrow. Kita bidunawan masnegatsan wabang. There's our plural agreement. Dun awa, get awa. All right. And then I did negative for VTI 1. I haven't done negative for this one. Okay. And then VTI 3s, and in. You should eat the vegetables. Mijin, ita mijin, our word for vegetable, get the ants. Get the ants. You should eat the vegetable. That's one person. Yin should eat the vegetable. We want it to be more than one person. Yin, get the mijin awa. So ginawa, use. Kita mijinawa, get the ganes. You should eat the vegetables. But there's more than one vegetable. So plural agreement comes in. Get the ganes son. And just add an N. Kita mijinawan, get the ganes son. You should eat your vegetables, the vegetables. If you want it to be your vegetables, then you need to add get. Ganes. Wow. This is a possessive. Your vegetables. You guys is your vegetables. I'll have this posted, like possessives. I'll have those posted soon. Now let's look at how to say it in negative form. You all should not. So here's my gawi. You should not eat these bakuduns. These bakuduns. You all should not eat candy. Candy. So here's the thing, that zine that makes it not happen is greedy and wants to be right next to the verb to make that not happen. The scene, sorry. The N falls off and you add scene. Scene. Now we get our awa and our plural agreement. Gawin gedami jasinawan, seen zabako dunsen, use should not eat the candy. And then let's see. You should not go get it. Gawin nade. Not in is our word, but the N falls off, we get seen. Not is seen. And awa. If you're talking about y'all, like use, a lot of times you typically end up having an automatic plural because you're talking about them all doing something to multiple items, like there are multiple items. So we'll add that on, and then you should not go get, as in, a gun. Gawin kita nadasinawan, mas naiganan. You should not go get the books, y'all, right here. VTI 3 or 2. We're working backwards again. All right, this one's a little longer, I guess. I'm going through everything. And in un, but that ending n falls off, and we add C. And I'll tell you why in a second, why it's C and not seen. Oh wait, no, it's still seen. Again, my brain, elsewhere. Oh gosh, I think I need more caffeine. I'm sure anyone can relate to that. All right, so you should not bring it. Idu. Idu. The N falls off. We get seen. Ingredient wants to be next to the verb to make it not happen. Gawin kita bidu seen awan. You should not go get. Let's see. What's an item? You all should not go get the glue. I didn't tell you to go yet. Gawin kita bidu seen awan. Okiwasan. The glues. Let's see how the N falls off, seen goes in, we get the paradigm for ge awa. Let's see. Then our VTI 1 ends in an, and we'll use gishkijan. Gishkijan means cut it. Gishkijan. It's our negative form, so the an does not expand to aan. The an stays. And we get an plus zine. Zine, but right now it's still a singular u, so we need to add wa. Kita gawin kita gishkishan zinawa. You should not cut the paper. Maybe they're all trying to cut one paper. Was in incase. This is an example of plural people with no plural item, just so you can see. Use should not cut the paper. Gawin gayabi, not yet. And then, yeah, now let's look at inclusive. The kita version of inclusive. That would just be in the wind. Us all, including you. So positive an. This form in your paradigms has min attached to the end. So like y'all, no, we're not on y'all anymore. We should cut it. Let's talk about that. We should cut the paper now. Ish kajun all over again. Ish is it expands but our n falls off and we attach min. Get plus min is us all. Gitagis kizamin. We should cut it. Maznaigans, the paper. Ish kijamin. So in this case, the n falls off. Let's see. We should read it. We should read a book. Again, rather than again done, it's again da. Min. Kita again da min. Naigas. Kita again da min and Miss Naigan. We should read a book instead of again da Miss Naigan. Let's read a book, which is commandy. We get again kita again da min. Maznagan. We should read a book. Or we could read a book. Let's see. VTI 2s. Ending in un. The ending n falls off and we add min. So we have gida requires the gudun, hang it up. Gudu and falls off. Min. Gudumen. Okay, so take note. Here's another possessive. Our word is the beans a koagan. Or actually, that's a long word. We're gonna go with mushkemud. Mushkemud. That means bag or backpack. So we should hang it up our backpacks. So to make it ours, we have a possessive. Yeah, this is your bag. Mushkemud e non. Gosh, do I add non? Our all. Ashkemodanon. I think it's. I have to check on something. Having a brain fart. All right. Let's see. So Giza Godumen, Gimashkemodanon. Gimashkemodanon. That's like saying that we all collectively have one bag. So we have to add in to make it plural. However, when we have a min form, when it is we all or we not including you, so ginowind or ninowind, there is no plural agreement. So it's just that kita gudumen gimash kimotenanin. y'all should, or we all should go get, oh gosh, I'm sorry. We all should hang up our bags. Kita dumen yemeshkamodinanin. Okay. Powering through this. Kita kostun kos kosidun kekakag in. Remember what kekakagan means? Block. Kekakag, a block, kekakagan, blocks. So we're talking about we should stack the blocks. Kita okosadu min kekakagan. No plural agreement, that's fine. All good. Okay, pretty simple. And finally, read this in, but we lose the N on the end, and we get min. We should eat the vegetables. Kita mi jin, but the N falls off and it becomes mi je min. We should eat betunigan is sandwich. Betunigan. Say we want to say our sandwiches. Ge betunigan inan. This is like if we all had one big sub sandwich and all had to eat the same sub sandwich. We all have separate sandwiches, so it's in. Kita mi jimin give betunigan inanin. Inan in. This makes it plural. Our sandwiches. All sandwiches. All right. So there's that. But now let's make it not happen. All right. So for this, we just see it. Yep. Why did I erase that? I should have erased that. In. X's out that. And then we get C plus min. We still, it's the Gaussian scene form. So Gaussian, this is the one I was talking about earlier. It's C. There's no N because we have to attach min. So kita, let's, we should not eat the food. Kita mije mije. The N falls off. We have C plus min. C and mijim food. Majimagud. Majimagud. Go. You remember what majimagud means? Majimagud. It smells bad. Smells bad. Majimagud. Kita mijisimin mijim. We should not eat the food. Gawin kita mijisimin mijim. We should not go get the scissors. Gawin kita nadin. Support, the N falls off. Nade. E. Min. Rouge. wagen. We should not go get the scissors. Gawin gita na de semen moj wagen. Okay. And then VTI twos and in un and falls off. We add semen. So let's see. We should not hang our water bottles upside down. So did today. Oh gosh. Goo. Jidagudun. Jidagudun. So for that end falls off. See. Min. Mude. Mude. All right, the word for water bottle. Mude. And if we want to say our water bottles. Gid. Mude. Oh gosh. I think we add winon. And then we get in. This is how I'd say it. It might be gidumude nonin without the wi in there. That might not be necessary, but I'm not sure. Because it ends with an uncommon ending there. So gawin kita jidagudu simen gidumude winanin. We should not hang our water bottles upside down. All right. Let's see about this one. We'll do a compound sentence. We should not stack the blocks. Supposed to do. Se do si min kakagen in. Now I'm going to add something. You can see where it says we should not. Kita opposed to do si min kakagen. We should not stack the blocks. Now see if you can understand this part. Grab my color coding. Kita not in not in min. Gawin kita code opposed to semen kage. Kita not in namen. We should not stack the blocks. We should kita not in na put them away. Not in na min. Because not in none or not in none, put it away. It expands, na, and we add the min, because get plus min equals, we are putting it away. We add da, we should put it away. And so you got a sneak peek of how to do VTI ones. VTI ones and in AN, they expand to AAN in the positive form. Negative form, they don't expand, but the N falls off. So, get that. kita. And then we have, I'm gonna retake out just, this is gawin. Gawin, kita, ish konan. Ish kon na, ish kon na. Ish konan. Oh, it's negative form. Okay. Ish konan. The N stays for negative form. Like that. And I get Z. Gawin kita ish konan Z. We shouldn't save it. Dudu shabo, the milk. Dudu shabo. We shouldn't save the milk, it'll go bad. For example, da ishkon nanzimen. All right, dudu shabo. Gawin kita ishkon nanzimen. Dudu shabo. Let's try another one. Gawin kita webinan. Webinan means throw it away. So we get webinan Z min. It Anoki in kita webinan simen kita no kiwinanan. We should not throw away our work. And I'll throw in a compound sentence. Kita ish na min. Kita ish namen. We should save it. Gawin kita webinan simen kita no kiwinanan. Kita ish namen. Probably add a go to add emphasis. That means no, we should not throw it away, our work. We should save it. So yeah, that is the how to for suggestive form. Again, sorry for my fog brain today. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you have questions, let me know. I hope it wasn't confusing with me making some mistakes in there. But feel free to practice these. It's just the same as the paradigms, the VTI paradigms, along with this time tense. So it's pretty straightforward. And feel free to print them out and then make marks in the margins about, like, you know, which ones retain the N and become Z, or which ones drop the N and are C, you know, stuff like that. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate you guys, and I wish you the best of luck.